Alright, so welcome back to Richard's Toy Room once again. Today's video is going to go off on a different tangent. We have never covered slot cars yet on this channel. Now this slot set you see in front of you is part of my childhood AFX slot car set. This set has been packed away, I think, since about 1978. I think that's the last time I played with it. I had it in the mid to late 70s. Here's the instruction sheet that came with it. It's Jackie Stewart. I don't remember the exact name. I don't have the box, but I do believe it had something to do with Jackie Stewart, the set I have. I didn't research it. I don't even remember what the box looked like, to be honest with you. But anyway, if you look here, this is the basic track setup that you can make with the set I got. And I got two cars with it, though again, I don't remember which cars I got with it, although I know I still have them. So I still have all the parts, and so the premise of this whole video is, will it run? Will it still work after being in a box for 40 years? Honestly, I don't even remember if everything worked the last time I played with it. Now, I also have this vintage box here, and I'll give you a better look at it. I'll put it down on the counter here, and these are all, or almost all, of my original slot cars. At least these ones are probably the ones that were still running at the time that I stopped playing with them. So let me get this over here, and we'll take a look at them. So as you can see, this is an official AFX pit kit. I've had it since I'm the original owner. And this is all the cars that, as far as I remember, still ran when I put them away 40 years ago. Now, I was going to start this video with having this track in a pile. So what I actually did was I went through and I cleaned all the track with a pink eraser, and then I went over some of the parts. There was a little bit of surface rust on some of the pieces, and I went over them with some light sandpaper, and then I did a partial track setup, as you saw a little bit earlier in the video. I didn't have enough room up here to set it up exactly as it was in the instructions, so I made a smaller set. That's basically where we sit right now. This is just a test set to see if this will actually still work. And I've got all these cars. The problem is, what I found out, I was looking at the cars before I set up this video, and a lot of the tires have petrified. They're like rock hard. These used to be like really soft rubber, and the back tires on a lot of them were like a foam. I mean, and they're like, maybe you can hear this, it's almost like sandpaper now. But I know a couple of these lit up too. I don't know if they still do. Maybe they don't even have the bulbs in them anymore. But there's some nice cars in here. This is one of my original ones right here, and this will be the subject of a future Richard's Toy Room video on the Atlas slot car set from the 60s. This was one of the cars that was original, that my grandfather bought me when I was very tiny, and I still have that Atlas car set too, although I do not have the box. I actually picked up one recently in the original box, the exact same set but without cars. So I actually have two of those sets, and then I have some more coming. I just won a lot on eBay. And this was the other car, if I can get it out of here. It's like a 62 or something Corvette. Again, the tires, they're all petrified. I'm hoping that I can get some replacement tires for a lot of these cars. Some of them are going to need new pickups because they get worn out. I have to go through all these cars. I don't even know if they work. But I know with the tires, it's going to be a big problem getting them to actually get any traction. And there's a lot of different kind of cars here. These little ones are Atlas cars. This one's not marked, but I'm pretty sure it is because they're all the same. And these are, I believe, AFX. This is a Tyco car. But most of them are AFX. AFX, that's a taxi cab. This one was one of the last ones that I bought. This was called, I can't remember what, G+. It had extra magnets, which I think these are more akin to the cars that they're actually putting out now, where they really grab to the track so they don't fly off like old cars used to. But I've got quite a few of these. I don't know what these are called, but they're kind of race cars. I've got, this is like a Cougar or something. Mid-70s. This is like a Plymouth or a Dodge. And this was one of my favorites too. This ambulance, called it the Meat Wagon. From that, if anybody ever saw that Saturday Night Live skit that they did in the 70s, 80s. This one was also one of my favorites. This old, like Model A or whatever. It's like some foreign car. There's an old Chevy. Again, like every one of them, the tires is just shot. I don't know what it's going to cost me to replace these tires on all these. Camaro. This one was always a cool one too. This is like a chrome plated like 57 Nomad. And then here, oh, there's that darn thing. I was looking for this. I was wondering where it was. It's the key to put the AFX track together and take it apart. I knew I had it, I just didn't know where it was. See, this tire is so petrified on this van, it just fell right off. It don't even stay on anymore. There's like nothing left of it. It's got some tape on there, must be holding the grill on, I'm guessing. When I was a little younger, I wasn't exactly sure what to do with some of them. Oh, this one also was one of my favorites, and it flew off the track once, and one of the smokestacks, exhaust smokestacks, broke on it, but it's still, that's the only thing wrong with it. I mean, you might have a couple of scratches on it or something, but this was one of my favorites too. So, like I said, the whole premise of this video is to let's find out if A, if the track even works, and B, if any of these cars even have any power left in them that they'll work. I'm sure they can be fixed even if they don't. Now the other problem I have is the controllers I have with this set. This one, I don't even remember what happened with this, but this is like a nightmare. The whole plug's gone off the end, and it's like, I obviously had rubber bands on here holding the two halves together. It looks like it's all like coming apart. And then I've got the other one over here, it's still plugged in. I accidentally, when I was putting it together, didn't realize I was putting that on an elevated section of the track. It should be on a lower section, but this is, like I said, again, just for test purposes. And so, I mean, basically we have to see if this thing will still work after 40 years. Okay, so I rearranged the track so that I could have this flat. I have this car right here. This is from the Dukes of Hazzard set, which I will do a review on eventually. And of course it's new, so I know it works. So off camera I did actually test to see if I had any power to the track, and if you remember I showed you this controller. It's got the wires broken off. Well, I found the plug end for it, but it's cut off right at the plastic, so I don't think it's repairable with the original part. I don't even know if this controller works. And this one here, I taped it up so that it would perform a little better. So we have to flip the power on. So, I mean, Not really surprised so much if the track would or wouldn't work. I'm more wanting to see if any of these cars will work. Whoops! So I didn't put any of the guardrails on because this is basically just kind of a test thing. I'm not going to leave this up. My other set is the one I'm going to put up in the room here. Although I may, if I get a little bit more room, I might rearrange this and put the guardrails on so I can kind of play with it a little bit until I get that up. But I'll probably end up putting up the Dukes of Hazzard set instead, since that's a brand new set and everything should work perfectly on it. But anyway, so what I wanted to do for this segment was to go through all these cars over here and see which one of them actually work. Now, I did take a peek at a lot of them, and the tires are shot on about 98% of them, so even if they do work, they're not going to go far, if at all. But in the meantime, I did win something on eBay here. This is not all of them. There was only 5 cars. These 3 over here are my originals. But I won one with this old, they're all Atlas cars, this Mustang. And these 2, I'm not sure what they are, Porsche or GT or something. They all look like brand new. I mean, I got a smoking deal on this. And then this T-Bird. It's like a 63 T-Bird, 62 T-Bird. And another Mustang. Pretty cool. Now, some of them were like this. I'll show you the bottom. See that green on there? Up here. These were all green, and I took them off and I ran them on sandpaper because I knew they weren't going to work with green on them. So I can't remember which ones were green. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. So it must have been just these 2 over here. Yeah, see, that one's got some green on it. You can see right there. So we'll see if those work too. We'll test those last. So let's just try each one. Try this truck. Well, it works, but the tires are shot. This, I don't know what this is. I felt it want to go, but I'm not sure what's wrong with it. There it goes. I think these all need to be taken apart and cleaned for sure. Alright, so bad tires, but motor works. Here's an old Chevelle. Same thing. Here's an old Camaro. I think these suckers would actually fly with brand new tires and oiling. Here's a cool old like Model A. Oops. You know what? Did you see that one go backwards? I think when I was a kid, I must have done something to some of these. Maybe I swapped the magnets or something. I'm not sure exactly what would cause them to run the opposite way, but I seem to recall in the back of my head doing something to these to make them go the wrong way. I don't know why. Okay, again, needs tires. Here's an ambulance. This one's missing a tire. I ain't gonna go nowhere with one tire missing, that's for sure. Here's another van. Conversion, or, yeah, no, not conversion, what would you call these? Custom van or something from the 70s. Yeah, again, that one's spinning the tire off. They're like rocks. Here's a taxi cab. Oh, that one wants to go backwards. That one must have a little bit of traction left on the tires, but not much. This one's a Tyco. Bad tires again. Kind of wants to go though. They all kind of want to go. I think all of them work so far. This one's always one of my favorite ones. This old Nomad. Yeah. Some old Plymouth or Dodge or something here. There we go. Whoa! They don't stick too well. Oh, this one's missing a tire. Maybe that's why. And these ones seem to have a little bit of traction though. Maybe if I could find a tire to swap out on there, might be able to get that one to drive. I got these Le Mans cars. Well, these ones missing a rear tire, so that ain't going nowhere. Well, that's the first one I couldn't get any action out of. Or the red one. Works. A white one. I think this red, the blue, and the I think one of these three, or two of these three, I think I came with my original track. I believe those are the cars that came with it. This one has no tires at all. I can't get nothing out of that one either. Okay, then we got this old Cougar or LTD or something. I think it's a Cougar. Whoops, that's a backwards one. Hey, there we go. Well, that one works pretty good. Here's the last, oh yeah, the last one. This was one of the last cars I bought. It's that G Plus car. That works pretty good, although it does need tires. So, now we go to these Atlas cars. Let's see what we got here. Another one that needs tires. This one has 3 tires. Can't get anything out of that one. There's the blue Mustang. Oops, slipped the track. There's something wrong with the track down here. These Atlas ones don't have very good magnets. But that one works pretty good. Let's see, what do we got here with the white one? I don't think the tires are too good on this one. But it works. Here's the gray one. Something wrong with that one. I think something stripped inside, must have a bad gear or something. Here's my little Willys, or whatever that is. Start her up here. Well, it works, but again, tires. Here's that T-Bird. It's awful slow, but it works. And the yellow Mustang. Again, awful slow, but it works. So that's what we're dealing with. We have what? 2, 3 cars that sort of work. And I didn't try the Dukes of Hazzard car. It's still in the box. This is the cop from it. And these two seem to be the best 2 cars that I got right now as far as moving around the track. Oh, and this track doesn't work. I did put the plug in over here, and if I plug it in there, I put the Dukes car in, it'll work a little bit and then it'll stop. And there's something wrong with the track. Let's see if I can show this to you. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get down in there. You see that spark in there? The track's melting right there too. And I'm not sure if that just happened or if it was like that. I think it was like that before. So basically this whole panel, control panel of the track is shot. I don't know if I really want to invest in maybe if I could get something really cheap, like another track piece real cheap and a couple of controllers, I might, but I'm not going to spend a lot of money on it because I've got the other track and I've got the Dukes of Hazzard track, so I'm not overly concerned with that. But I guess to answer our question from the beginning of the video, will it work? Well, yes. Amazingly, if you want to just boil it down to will it work or does it not work, it works. So there you go. Stay tuned for more videos. I'm going to do, like I said, a review on the Dukes of Hazzard one that was put out by Auto World a few years back. And the Atlas track when I get to that point too. There'll be more than one Atlas track video. There'll be one on the vintage box one that I have. And then when I get the whole setup done, of course, I'll have a really nice video of that. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again soon.